Hello and welcome to another video. So I just wanted to hop on and do a quick video on how pre-meds can stay proactive during the pandemic. So I know a lot of pre-med students usually use the summer to do research and get more volunteer hours and strengthen their resume, resume and medical school applications. But right now, because everything is still somewhat shut down and not many places are open, you can't really go to an institution and do research at the institution. It's creating a lot of barriers, and students I feel like they're starting to feel overwhelmed that they don't have much to do. And so I created a list of a few things that you can do to keep yourself motivated, to better prepare yourself for medical school, and to make you feel like you're still doing something and you're being proactive. So the first thing that I would do is look up any nonprofit in your city or in your community and check out if you can help them. I know in Chicago there is a lot of nonprofits that are doing really great work right now, especially in terms of like the Black Lives Matter movement and like helping Latinos during the pandemic. And so, for example, here in Chicago there's one called Healthy Hood. They're doing a lot of great work. They put together like packages for various like residents of Pilsen, and they included like vegetables and a lot of great things in there. There was also another organization that donated masks to our clinic, and so there's people putting together these masks that are then donated to other organizations. So definitely look up nonprofits in your area, and even if it's not medical related, you're still being a leader, you're still doing your part in helping the community while all this terrible stuff is going on. And now I recently found out that virtual research labs are a thing, and so because a lot of PIs and researchers are working remotely, they created this idea of virtual labs. And so I'm currently working in a virtual lab now, and we are doing research from home, and we meet once a week and talk about like all the great things that we're doing. But there are many opportunities like that. The people that I'm working with are not the only ones doing virtual research labs, so definitely look up institutions near you that may be doing virtual research. I know on Med Twitter they post a lot of like research positions and job openings, and there's a lot of researchers on there, so reach out to them and see if they know of any opportunities to work remotely from home. And if you don't know what a Med Twitter is, I can make another video on that, but it's just a Twitter account that you make, but you use it professionally. And so I use it to network with other physicians and people in the medical field, people in the field of public health. And so, I use it more professionally and to speak my opinions about topics in the medical area and things like that. But I use it a lot to network with physicians that aren't necessarily in my area, and researchers that are in other places as well. And so I really like that like social media outlet, because it allows me to reach out to various people from around the nation. So you can also be proactive by making a Med Twitter. I also really like the idea of Med Twitter because like physicians and researchers use it to post about their kind of behind the scenes of their life, and it's very interesting to see their experiences in like medical school or experiences being a physician, and being a professional in their field of study. And so I really like that. And so, now is your time to create a Med Twitter and get involved in within the medical community on Twitter. You can also use the summer to prepare your medical school application. So even if you're not applying till like next cycle or in 2 years, it's always nice to, and I've done this before, I've drafted my personal statement. And so I drafted my personal statement years ago with like what I had done back then, or based off of what I was doing back then. And it's so interesting to see how I have evolved and how much more experience I have gained throughout the years. And so Practice writing your personal statement. It is an art. It's hard to do. It's hard to talk about yourself and make it story-like and make it flow. So I would definitely give it a try. Think about what you would like to talk, and this can also help you find gaps in your application. It can help you find what maybe you're missing, what you should do more of. And so I know when I was going through basically everything that I had done, I realized that I needed more clinical experience. So I had done a few volunteer positions at hospitals, but I never really got the chance to see what a doctor actually does, or what's the difference between a doctor and a nurse and a medical assistant. I never really got to see that. And so I always had it in the back of my mind that I needed to get a position in a clinical setting so I can, you know, have a better reason as to why I want to pursue medicine. And so I did that. And so you can also plan out what your timeline is going to look like for applying into medical school. It takes a long time, and it has several components. So applying to medical school requires recommendation letters and personal statements and writing down all the activities that you did throughout undergrad and where you volunteered. And so if you start preparing that now, you'll be ahead of the game when it actually comes time to applying to medical school. So keep a notebook with all the things you've ever done in your undergrad year, or if you're in a gap year, write what you've done in your gap year. Draft out personal statements, think about people who you would ask for recommendation letters, and then once it comes time to apply, you will be more than ready, and it'll take you less time to put together a successful application. Also, because I already told you all about MedTwitter, definitely go on in there and find doctors or other medical professionals that you relate to or you find interesting, or maybe you just don't know what they do and you want to know what like their job entails. Message them, DM them, and set up an informational Zoom interview. And this, you'll find that this will be extremely helpful, because you can honestly learn so much more about like a specialty or a certain position by learning what they do. And so I've done a lot of informational interviews, but in person with any physicians that were like in my area or something like that. So I know I interviewed, and it's not necessarily like an interview, like I do have a list of questions that I want to ask them, but it's very informal. Like I don't dress up or anything, or like I try to look nice, but like I don't dress up that much. But like I asked them like, oh, so like what do? Do you like your job? What does a day in like your job look like? And many physicians and medical professionals and public health people, anyone, they always like to talk about their job and what they do for a living. Like they really enjoy that. So definitely reach out to people who you would like to be like or learn more about, and set up a time to talk to them, or email just back and forth. Like this is when you have the time to do that and just talk to people, learn more about their story. And you'll be surprised how much this will better prepare you as an applicant, because through informational interviews that I've done, and just for myself, like for me to learn more about them, and I was able to kind of see myself in certain specialties or not see myself in other specialties. Like I'm like, okay, yeah, definitely that would not be for me, and things like that. Or like, yeah, maybe that specialty is for me. Like it sounds fun or something I'd be interested in. And my last one is pursue any hobbies you have, even if they're not medicine related. Medical schools like to see that you are a person and that you like to do things. So, you know, if you honestly like don't know what you like and you just watch Netflix, stop watching Netflix and figure it out. Try painting, try drawing, go out for runs, go biking, hiking, depending on where you live. I live in the city, so that wouldn't work for me, but if you do have an option to hike, do that. But yeah, try things that you haven't done before. Try to make the best of it. But yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to make a really quick video on how you can stay involved during a pandemic. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I really want to start reaching a larger audience, especially as I'm going to start conducting interviews on minorities in STEM, and so I want, you know, people to benefit from those. So please make sure you subscribe so more people can hear about my channel, and so we can have more people watch those interviews, because they're going to be fun and there's some really amazing people that I will be talking to. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.